Brad, a win like that, how do you review it? The second half wasn't as strong. What's the review like on the win after that?
Yeah, we got that this afternoon. Well, first I'll start off with the first half. Thought we really brought the heat, and the contest was strong. Obviously, there was a few question marks from the outside about the contest with us, and we identified that throughout the week. It's probably an area where it fuels everything else throughout our game. Our ball movement, everything comes off the back of the contest. So had an emphasis on that, and to Gold Coast's credit, they kept coming at us, and we knew it was going to be a tough game. And second half there, they kicked, I think, 5 unanswered goals there, but we found a way to win, and good sides do that.
As a squad, do you feel like you fixed any issues you had over the last 2 weeks before that?
I thought we definitely took a step forward. I thought that first half was probably the brand of football we like to play, and I think it was talking about the contest came down to that, and we got the ball going forward, and I think our transition ball movement from the back half and connection going forward was something pretty pleasing. So we'll definitely go into that and have a look at that to see what we look like at our best, and obviously there's a few areas where you need to improve. That second half there, you can't let sides come back into the game when you have a first half like that.
Is being hunted harder than you anticipated?
I just think the competition's it's so even now. Yeah, we understand we're the reigning premiers, and we are hunted, and everyone's looking at us a lot more closely this year. But the difference between the top sides and the bottom sides is not much now, and you only have to be off by a couple of percent to get whacked. And the last couple of weeks, we've come up against a couple of good sides that have done that. We've been a little bit off, and deservingly so. We've been whacked, and we've just got to get back to basics, which we think we did on the weekend, and understanding that you've got to bring the game every week. And it starts with your preparation and the process throughout the week to get you in that good space.
Right, how important is Shanahan to your side?
Yeah, he's very, very important to our side. He's Mr. Consistent, and his leadership in the back half and as amongst the whole squad is of a high level, and his role game day and what he does throughout the week and setting an example is what a leader should do, and that's what he does. And he sets the tone on game day with his performances. You very rarely plays a bad game. That's what you need in your leaders.
4 and 3, Shep. There's obviously a lot of talk about the brand of football you're playing, and many saying that you're not hitting your absolute straps. Is that fair criticism, or you just think that comes with being the reigning premier and more heat comes with that?
Bit of both. We're not shying away from the fact that we're not playing perfectly football at this time of the year. This is the time of the year where you really do got to bank the wins, and really got to find our mojo. And I think we had a couple of thorough reviews over the last few weeks about certain aspects of the game that we weren't happy with, and we thought we rectified that, especially in the first half and the weekend. So we feel like we're in a pretty good space as a club. The club's a sanctuary, so we try and distance ourselves as much as we can from the external noise, and Simo's backed in all his players, and he has done it from pretty much day dot. So we've got full belief in Simo, and he's got full belief in us as players, and as evidence, if you have that belief and that trust with everyone, that's how you get success. And we know that we're not far away from playing our best footy, and hopefully starts this week against the Saints. Understand it's a big game again, first game for us at Marvel Stadium for a while, so looking forward to the challenge that presents itself, because every game in AFL footy these days is a tough challenge.
Some people have questioned the hunger of the group after the losses against Port Adelaide and Geelong especially. Do you feel like the guys that played in the flag have come back with that same desire?
I feel like they have, yeah. There's probably 19 or 20 players on our list at the moment that have had that success last year, and there's probably another 25 players that haven't. The way that the group as a collective came back was actually very impressive. Everyone was getting personal best, and all the time trials and the hunger and competitive instincts that everyone brought to each training session throughout pre-season was at a high level. So I think the boys are still really hungry to achieve success. As a few of us missed out, like saying there's 25 blokes that haven't experienced that. So the hunger's still there for the players. understanding is probably as a collective, everyone's not playing at the optimal level at the moment, but it's only round 8 this week, so it's a long year, and we're a game from second spot, a couple of games from the top, so it's still anyone's season, and you just got to focus on what's in front of you, and that's winning the game against Saints on the weekend.
Your individual form, Brad, has been great this year. You're finding a lot more of the footy as well. Has that been part of the plan to get the ball in your hands? Because you are a good user from the back up.
I wish I could say yes, but I'm finding I'm getting myself in some good positions to receive the footy, and that's just to back off reading the game. But I play a lot of footy with the guys around me now, and they understand where I run and my running patterns. And there's going to be games where I find it, and there's going to be games where I don't. But that's not really my role on the side. The role on the side is to play on the opposition's dangerous forward. So dependent upon where they're playing on the ground, if they're playing a little bit higher or a bit deeper, will generally is where if I'm in the play. So some games, I'll get a bit more liquid ice cream than others, but my role's not really about getting high numbers.
You had Robbie Gray against Port Adelaide, had Sexton on the weekend. You seem like you thrive on those big jobs.
Yeah, I do. I love the challenge. I think when you make it to the top level, the first thing you want to do is just get a game, and then once you get in the game, you want to be consistent. And my role now is a role that I really value, and that's challenging myself against the best players in the country, and get a real thrill about that, because any contest you lose is generally a goal against. Things don't go your way all the time, so I think when you're living on the edge, I think that gets the best out of myself.
Just looking at the team's form, there's a couple of theories that some fans think that you guys might not be that good in the wet or when it's slippery, and another theory is that you guys don't like the dirty ball coming into the defence.
The dirty ball.
Well,
Yeah,
across the mark. Well, what do you think about those sort of things?
Well, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone gets access to and watches a lot of footy these days. So, there's been a few opinions out there, like you're talking about the dirty ball, and what was the first one you said?
When it's wet.
When it's wet, yeah. We try to back in our system, and in the wet, you probably have to be a bit more predictable with the footy and the way you go about your business in terms of the mark v spoil and little things backman that you got to get right. But it comes down to, I think, just the mindset in the end. The weather shouldn't come into any contention between a win and a loss, and in the past we've probably had some poor performances in the wet, but we're pretty clear with if it does rain again, what we've got to do. And playing a lot of Saturday night games this year, you tend to find that there is a lot more dew on the football, and it is quite slippery. So we feel like we're getting a fair bit of exposure in those type of conditions, and we feel like as a group we're evolving and knowing what we need to do to play well in either conditions.
Your bench is obviously still really, really good, as you've shown. How much discussion has there been with the players about why you can't consistently produce that best?
Yeah, it's a tough one. If we knew the answer, we'd be already doing it right now. That's why we do a lot of reviewing and watch a lot of vision and have honest conversations with your peers about what's going on and how to get your best out of yourself. And we understand that it's a tough industry, this AFL environment, but we're not shying away from the fact that we need to improve, and we're probably one of about 16 teams that have, I know it's only been a short sample size with 7 rounds, but there's been a few little roller coasters in those 7 rounds. So we need to get better in certain areas, but we feel like we're on the right track, and we're confident with our best footy, and it matches up against some really good sides. And you see this year we've had some good wins against some really quality opposition, so we're not too far away. We've had a couple of bad weeks, but as a club and as a playing group, we're pretty positive.
Do you need to build momentum really quickly though?
Well, you need to win games. I think if you can bank games early, it sort of definitely helps the back end of the year. It sort of doesn't ease the pressure, but it gets you in a good position to really set yourself up. So we understand you need to win as many games as you can to one qualify, and that's what you do every year to try and qualify and play finals football. But it's such a tight competition, and there's 12 sides or 14 sides within a game. So win it, like any side, you want to try and win as many games as you can and as quick as you can. But you can't look too far forward from this week.
Brad, how'd you pull up a big knock from Peter Wright, and then you got up close in person with the fans as well? How'd you pull up yesterday, and how you feeling today?
Yeah, was it Peter Wright, was it? I thought it was McGovern. Body's a bit sore, but always seem to put myself in those positions where I always get a couple of knocks. The boys get into me a bit because they reckon I stay down the ground a bit too long and try and get the round of applause from the fans there when I got the footy from Sheppard. So the boys get stuck into me a bit, but body's feeling pretty good at the moment. And got experience. Got pushed over the fence there, so got a boundary side experience of the bar down there. It's pretty good viewing from down there. Body's feeling pretty good at the moment.
Bit of a selfless role at times, and you are going back into the packs and crashing. Does it take that role take a bit of a toll though? You know, as the season does progress on.
Don't think so. Every player on the ground, there's probably one time a game, one time a year, you're in a position where you are going to you feel uncomfortable, and you got to rely on the blokes around you to call you in or to help protect you as much as you can. And got copped one on the weekend, but that happens to every player in every single game, and you try and avoid them as much as possible, or try and turn your body at certain stages to try and protect yourself as much as possible. But that's part and parcel of football, and hopefully I don't get bashed up too much because it is a long year. But with all the recovery facilities at the club and what you do outside of the club gives you the best opportunities to recover from the games and get up for the weekend. Understanding I'm 27 now, so it doesn't take me a day to get over a game. Probably takes me 3 or 4 days. So I can only feel what Shannon Hearns feels like at 32. Probably takes me a week to get over each game, but that's something that I'm looking forward to.
Jack Darling, obviously really good, especially in that second quarter when the game was on the line. I imagine as teammates, given he's copped a fair bit in the past fortnight, you would have been delighted to see him get his fair share. Yeah,
absolutely. Jack's a critical part of our footy club, and he's played some really high level footy for a number of years now. I don't think he buys in or takes much notice in what's been said about him outside of our four walls, but I can only judge him on how he's training and how he prepares, and his work ethic and what he does around the club is only a matter of time for he gets on the end of a few and kicks a few goals. So I'm really pleased for Jack, and he's had to fight his way through. I wouldn't say a bit of a form slump because it's probably the delivery from us not giving him enough opportunities to be able to showcase his ability. But I was really proud of Jack and how he went about his business on the weekend and to kick 4. Now the challenge for him now is to keep doing it.
You talked about the roller coaster for a few of the sides in the AFL at the moment. St Kilda is one of those that have been on a bit of a roller coaster in recent times. What do you make of them?
I haven't seen a lot of the St Kilda games as of yet. That's what this week will be for. But they play a high pressure game of footy, and they high octane. They got Brett Ratton come across from Hawthorn, so I understand they've changed up a bit from last year, and they've banked some really good wins. So we'll do a thorough analysis of where they're at as a footy club and how they play. And there's only so much you can do with that because you really got to focus on yourselves and how you're going to combat, and you got to bring your best footy each week. So we'll take note of what Saints do, but it'll be a bit about what we're going to bring.
As a senior player, have you seen the performances of the young players, particularly Jack Petruccelli?
He's quick, isn't he? Yeah. I've had to match up on him a few times in the pre-season. Understand he's a tough matchup when he gets a bit of space. There's no one in the AFL that'll catch him, so he's got to keep reinforcing and keep reinforcing to bring his strengths game day. Along with a lot of the younger players, you don't want to overcomplicate the game of footy because footy is a simple game, and you just got to try and narrow down their focus points and just get them to play with that energy and spirit, because when you see young kids coming in and performing, the senior players do get a thrill out of that.